The ghouls are out tonight.
I've seen a lot of people saying that the DLC is a sequel to the events of the main game, and mostly the evidence they provide is of course the secret boss fight. I don't think it's all that simple though. You see, a big part of the DLC has to do with the Astral Plane, and Chef Saltbaker's attempts to gain control over it. So what exactly is the Astral Plane, and how does the devil factor into all of this? I will be honest straight up, I don't have all the answers, so if you see something I missed or just get completely wrong, please comment below. Or better yet, join the Discord. I would rather we help each other understand this more than just yelling at me for being wrong. So, without further ado, should I put an ad break this early? So let's start off with the question, is the Delicious Last Course a sequel to the base game? People keep pointing out the Devil Skeleton, which is in the background of the secret boss fight you can find on Inkwell Isle 4. This is probably in the proper MDHR way, a real-life model that they then took footage of to bring it in-game. Here's the thing, this is not the first time we've seen this skeleton. The first phase transition of the devil fight, we see him literally hop out of his own skin and enter a hole in the ground. Where does the hole go? The transition makes it look like it just goes down underground into a dark cavern. The smoke rising up would make it seem like this is maybe a lower layer of hell. Either way, despite hopping clean off his skeleton, the devil isn't killed at the end of Cuphead, because we get the knockout message and we see the injured troublemaker in the final cutscene. So it's not like he got sent to the Astral Plane or something, and it doesn't really point to it being a sequel. Furthermore, Isle 4 can be accessed as your second island in the game, if you want it to be. To me, this DLC just feels more like a content add-on than a post-game wrap-up. It's the island they wanted to make, but didn't have the time for. Now of course they made it accessible early so you could get access to Miss Chalice, so there's a gameplay consideration. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like a finale type story. So there's the first thing I want you guys to fact check me on. I couldn't find anything of MDHR stating it was a sequel or when it takes place. Regardless, this is where we're going to start talking about the Astral Plane. A general definition of the term would be that it is the world of the celestial spheres, crossed by the soul in its astral body on the way to being born and after death, and is generally believed to be populated by angels, spirits, or other immaterial beings. And boy, there is a lot of that going on in Cuphead. To start with, we have the perishable ghosts in the mausoleums. This is where we rescue Miss Chalice, who's still in her ethereal or ghost form. We also have the Phantom Express boss, which is a haunted train. The background in this boss seems to be the same place as the graveyard in the Cuphead show, and I know many people don't consider the show canon, so I thought I'd just point that out. Also, Goopy could theoretically be controlling the gravestone as a ghost. But then we get to Jimmy the Great, and this is really the first look we got at the Astral Plane. In the final phase, the genie opens cracks into this realm that can damage you. A really cool thing to note is that the symbols on the pyramids are similar to that of the Broken Relic, which you need to face the secret boss. Side note, you can also summon Jimmy anywhere in the game now for extra HP, which is cool. Up until the DLC release, there wasn't really a reference or a name to the Astral Plane, and really the first big reference to it all is when we met Miss Chalice at the start, who gives us the Astral Cookie. We also see that she can apparently just open a portal to the Astral Plane whenever she wants while in the soul form. The cookie basically allows Miss Chalice to take over a character's physical body while sending their soul to the Astral Plane in its place. Chef Saltbaker wants you to gather the ingredients for the Wonder Tart, which will give Miss Chalice back her physical form. However, in order to do that, he needs an actual soul. The reason he needs you is so that you can beat up all the guardians of the ingredients and bring them to him. My question is, why didn't he just trap Miss Chalice and use her soul? He is obviously the strongest boss on the island, so should be able to take the others out, although I guess that would give away the fact that he's evil. Either way, apparently he wants the Wonder Tart to gain control over the Astral Plane. What does this mean exactly? Again, I have heard people say he wants to get control over the devil and either bring him back or use him. But like I showed earlier, the devil isn't dead or gone, so that doesn't really pan out. Although, the ability to teleport wherever he wants would be cool, I guess. Other than that, I don't really think the motive is ever made clear. Saltbaker just kind of serves as an old cartoon-style villain who is just evil to be evil, which does fit the theme of the game pretty perfectly. One thing we still have to talk about is the whole secret boss, and why that fight happens in what is seemingly the astral realm. If the devil isn't dead and still has physical form, why is the skeleton of the devil along with his soul in here? So let's talk about how you access the secret boss, because I think that is a large factor in this whole topic. The first time you run into the graveyard, An old ghost will tell you he's trying to solve a mystery. The contest of skill, the broken charm, and the nearby graveyard all give off potent astral energy. If you go up to the contest of skill, they will give you hints on how to solve the secret. You have to equip the broken charm for this to work, and when you input the correct graves and the ghosts pop up in the right order, the center grave starts glowing with a dreamlike energy. It's not a dark background like what we see in the portal Miss Chalice uses, or what Jimmy gives off, but the stars could signify it's a door into the astral plane. If you interact with this grave, it asks you to take a little nap. You don't go through the portal, you basically just start having a dream. Now you might at first believe that this dream takes place in the astral realm, given the similarities of the backgrounds and with the twin devil ghosts. But if you enter the fight as Miss Chalice, she still comes through the portal to swap places. Maybe she just teleports from another location in the astral plane? Again, we can't really say. Some might think that this is an oversight and is just for gameplay considerations, but MDHR is proven to be all about the little details. So if we take into consideration that the broken relic required to access this place has the same symbol as the item Jimmy uses to open cracks into that dark realm, then I do believe we can say with a good bit of certainty that this entire fight is taking place in the astral plane. But that leads to the question of what exactly is this fight even about? The devil isn't dead in any timeline, and you are in a dreamlike state, so does this even happen? The whole battle is themed around the devil and angel on your shoulder allegory. So to me, maybe the fact that whichever one you turn to face is the devil might be a hint at the real truth of this fight. Why is the capital D devil skeleton in the background? Well, besides it just being a badass background and set piece, with the skeleton literally holding the arena you fight on, we actually don't really know. There isn't a whole lot to go off of. If you die to this boss, you get the dialogue, "Wish you may, wish you might, your soul is now trapped in the night." So the fight itself seems to be set up as a trap to get your soul stuck in the typical devil fashion. Personally, I think this fight is more tied to hell and the devil than to Saltbaker's plan to control the astral plane, but that doesn't explain why it's even taking place in this location. Beating the secret boss unlocks the quest to upgrade the broken relic, but we don't really learn anything new from that. In terms of development, this secret boss was originally planned as a phase of the final devil fight in the base game. This could explain why they don't really have a boss intro and why they are sucked into the skeleton eyes upon defeat. That's about it for the astral plane. Saltbaker is never able to accomplish his plan, so we don't get more info there. In the end cutscene, we see Miss Chalice has somehow gotten back into her physical form. No idea what's that about. Maybe just to add to the happy ending feel? As I kind of dig into it more and more, I realize that Cuphead's story and lore is more about themes and callbacks rather than hard evidence leads and discoveries. A lot of people pointed out in my Saltbaker video that he probably does turn good in the end because that's how old 40 style cartoons would work. Well, that's a perfectly logical way of thinking about the ending, but I don't buy it. I'm having fun making Cuphead content, but at the end of the day, there is only so much to talk about, and I don't want to milk it. So if you have anything you would like me to make a video on, let me know in the comments below. I do have a few more Cuphead projects in the works, and who knows, maybe we will get more Cuphead down the road. But the reason I started this channel was to bring more amazing indie games with a focus on challenge into the spotlight. So now I'm going to take the opportunity to tell you about Get a Cake. This is more of a Metroidvania than a run and gun, and it has a bit of a cutesy art style, but don't let that fool you. This game is tough. The demo is an alpha and has some problems, but the core gameplay is great. The combat and bosses are fun, you play as multiple different elemental dragons that you can switch to on the fly, and each has a unique playstyle and personality. The Kickstarter is launching later today, and it will reveal the third playable character, which is pretty hype. I highly recommend you try out the demo for Get a Cake on Steam, and at least give the Kickstarter a look over if you enjoy challenging games like Cuphead with tough but fair gameplay. Even if you can't back, at least following the page will help it gain more traction. Thanks for watching, and be sure to catch my Crowsworn update video tomorrow. Now if you enjoyed the video, please consider